What's going on, guys? Matt here with another video. I'm doing an underwater pool test in this video because I want to see if these little speed clips, power clips, whatever you want to call these, if they affect the action of a lure. So basically you clip them to your lure and you tie your leader line or your main line straight to the clip. So it makes it easier to switch out your lures. It also makes it to where you're saving your leader line or your main line if there's not a leader line because you're tying less knots. So I got a bunch of different baits, kind of your typical baits that people use to show what they look like. So here, let me show you what I have and we'll get right into it. All right guys, here's the baits I'm gonna show underwater here. Okay, this is more kind of a saltwater kind of style video, but we've got 4-inch diesel minnow on a 1/8 jig head. Pretty much the most used probably lure inshore. We've got your jerk shad. This is also a Z-Man 5-inch on a camera. I don't know exactly. I think that might be a 1/4 ounce rigging hook. We got the Miradine, and I do have inline hooks on it, but I think, you know, it'll be fine. And we've got a shrimp jig here. This is the Savage Gear. I believe this is a 1/4 ounce jig. So I'm gonna show all those underwater, and let's start out with the paddle tail and just work our way down and see what they look like. I forgot to mention, I'm gonna do just a normal loop knot first and show kind of just the main kind of retrieve styles that you would do for each of these baits. And then after the loop knot, I'm gonna show what it looks like doing the same retrieves with the little speed clip. So starting off with the paddle tail, let's see what this guy looks like. All right, now as you can see here, I'm just working the paddle tail normal, just a straight retrieve with the loop knot on. Nothing fancy. That first clip wasn't great, but here you can see it a little bit better. Nothing fancy. You kind of can see the loop knot actually a little bit, which kind of surprising. Here I'm just bouncing it off the bottom, kind of just a hop and a skip type of retrieve with the loop knot still, and you can see it's got pretty good range of motion there with that loop knot. It kind of falls down pretty easily, and I am using a 20-pound mono leader, and that's a 1/8 ounce jig head. Here is a straight retrieve with the speed clip, and yeah, I mean, not really much difference. You can see that metal a little bit, but just a straight retrieve there, and this is the speed clip bouncing off the bottom. Honestly, to me, not much difference from the loop knot. I thought I was gonna be able to see a big difference here. I'm kind of just playing with it, but if you watch how I just let it fall kind of naturally on its own, still good range of motion. It's falling pretty much free fall speed there. Yeah, pretty good action there with the speed clip. That looks good. Tell me what you think down below. I mean, you can't even really see the metal when a bait's working pretty fast like that either. It's looking pretty good. Okay, that was the paddle tail. Now let's try the 5-inch jerk shad on a rigging hook. Let's see what this thing looks like underwater. All right, here we got the loop knot on the jerk shad, the 5-inch Z-Man jerk shad. And I'm just doing your typical kind of hop and a skip off the bottom with this thing. Just kind of a twitch, pause, letting it get down there. And it's looking pretty good. It's got that good kind of erratic slashing action. Goes left, right, up, down. It really does a good imitation of a injured bait fish, but I think it also kind of looks good as a shrimp, just kind of popping off up off the grass or the mud. But that is with the loop knot, of course. And here it is, working in the middle column, just kind of bopping it around, not letting it get down to the bottom. This looks more like an injured bait fish type of deal. Still with the loop knot here, and it looks pretty good. A lot of good action, moving all over the place. The tail has a lot of action in it as well, and just getting you a couple different angles here. You can see it from the back, looking pretty good. Now here it is with the speed clip, and I'm just slowly hopping it off the bottom like I was the first time with the loop knot. As you can see here, it looks pretty good. If anything, it might just be moving a little bit straighter maybe, but it looks pretty similar, I would say, to the loop knot. Still good action, bouncing around, up off the bottom. Yeah, it looks pretty good. When you're moving it semi kind of medium pace to fast, you don't even really see the metal really, because the bait's just kind of hopping around. You don't really think about that there's a little bit of extra metal there. Now this is me working it in the middle column, kind of quick like I was with the other one. And yeah, to me, I mean, you tell me in the comments, but that looks pretty similar to the loop knot to me. That looks about the same. It might be moving a little bit more straight than side to side. Okay, next up we have the Miradine, and yes, I do have single inline hooks because I do replace those a lot. I like the single inlines, but I think it'll still be a good indication of how this thing looks underwater. Let's check it out. Now here we are, loop knot on the Miradine. This is one of my favorite baits to use in saltwater. Just such a good pilchard kind of white bait imitation here. And I'm just gonna do your typical twitch, twitch, pause type of action. You can see it rolling and flashing. Just a great looking bait. I love how this thing looks in the water. Great flash to it. You can see that's with the loop knot. Now here it is with the speed clip. And again, very similar action. I mean, you guys tell me, the actions that I've seen so far, if there is a difference, it's very slight with the speed clip. I don't think that's gonna make a difference when it comes to fish eating these things though. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I've seen anything more than, I don't know, it looks pretty similar to me. That looks good. Okay, and last but not least, the lure that many would say is the best inshore saltwater lure. We have the shrimp jig. This is a Savage Gear 1/4 ounce shrimp jig. I think it's a 1/4 ounce. It might be a little heavier than that. Let's see what this guy looks like underwater. Let's check it out. Okay, now here's the shrimp jig on the loop knot. I said a 1/4 ounce. I think it might be a little bit heavier than that because this thing gets down pretty quick and it felt pretty heavy in the hand. This might be a 1/2 ounce actually. But as you can see, just kind of hopping, skipping it off the bottom here. Kind of typical thing you do with the shrimp jig. That forward weight presentation, that jig head gets it down pretty quick. So this one's pretty good with deep water. And this is me just working it a little bit faster. And now let's see what it looks like with the speed clip. Okay, got the speed clip here. And this one for sure, I didn't think there was gonna be a big difference because it's got a lot of weight to it, and I figured it's just gonna get down there, and yeah, that looks about the exact same. I'm thinking that unless you're working something really slow, maybe then you wouldn't want just more hardware. But if you're working baits medium to fast, I don't think there's really a big difference in action here. I really don't. You tell me though. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up our video here. But let me know down in the comments, how did those baits look underwater? Are you going to be using those speed clips, or are you just going to be rocking just your traditional knots when you're going out fishing? Let me know down below. This is an eye-opening thing for me, just like you. I've used speed clips and I've used just normal knots, and I've kind of gone back and forth on it, whether or not I feel like it's going to hurt the amount of bites that I'm going to get if I'm using a speed clip. So hey, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully I'll be doing a lot more of these underwater tests here going on this summer. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.